Okay. Shalom, family. It's good to see you all here. I got some videos that I'm going to show you. Now, some of these you might have seen, but there are a few in here that you didn't. So, there's a few new things I got tonight. I got the link to the website so that you can read exactly what these Africans are trying to do. They are trying to appoint themselves as our leader in our quest to reparations, and we did not ask them for that. So let me post a link to this AU African Union website. All right, let me put this in the this is the website. Okay. And here is, let me see. Here is a petition. Let's see here. This is kind of long. Let me see if I can get this one. Yeah, this one's better. All right. Here is a petition that was started. Here we go. Okay. So somebody started a petition on moveon.org to stop what these Africans are attempting to do and, robbing us of our reparations. And it goes real deep, y'all. It goes real deep. They done did all kinds of stuff behind our back. And they did a lot of it with the Democratic Party. And see, this is the problem with people running for Congress, and they are not people that were born here. In my opinion, if you aren't born here, you shouldn't even be eligible to be a congressman or congresswoman. You should have to be from the soil. And the fact that they got this far, these Africans in their quest of taking our reparations, is because you have too many in the Congressional Black Caucus that were not even born here, but they are part of Congress. So they're in a position of power where they can disregard anything that we feel or say and just move forward and do whatever the hell they want, because it's enough of them in Congress where they don't have to pay attention to us. So let me share my screen. So those two links that I gave you are really important. And then I'll give you some suggestions on what I think they can do to even go a step further than a petition and what we're doing online. All right. All right. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. This is going to give you a lot more details than what I showed you yesterday. So if you didn't get a clear understanding, I think this is going to make it very clear. Okay. Let's get started.
Black Americans. Let's talk about the African Union and them trying to co-opt Black Americans' reparations and birthrights in the United States of America. Now, I put this passage right here from this African sleeper cell, Wicked Progeny of Africa. This person, Z0956, left a comment on my page, and it reads, for the people pushing the misinformation about the AU, plain talk for misinformation and divisive. ADS 2025 is not just another fancy meeting. It's a serious worldwide push to get real justice for Black people, including African Americans, by talking about reparations in a way that leads to actual change. It's backed by the United Nations, the African Union, and major global organizations who are coming together to put reparations on the table as part of development, not just a side issue. This isn't about Africans versus African Americans or Caribbean folk versus anybody else. It's about uniting all Black people across the world, Africa, the US, the Caribbean, Latin America, to fight for what's owed: justice, resources, and recognition. They are making sure that young people, women, and people pushed to the margins get a seat at the table. And more importantly, they are pushing to turn political talk into real action, money, and long-term partnerships to fix what's been broken. So if you are out here trying to downplay reparations, pit Black folks against each other, or push false narratives, you are playing into the hands of the same systems that caused this mess. ADS 2025 is a reminder: we either build together or stay broken apart. Black Americans. This is what I was talking about, the African sleeper cells. Anytime they write a long passage like this, you have to know that they're coming to undermine you. Now, let me give you a little bit about me. I'm not saying this to sound high and mighty. I just want y'all to understand my logic. I have a bachelor's degree in journalism, minor in psychology, master's degree in communication media with a specialization in public relations. I'm a researcher. And the psychology of what this person, I'm going to call you ground zero. What ground zero is doing, the gaslighting, the manipulation tactics, and the deflection isn't going to work with me. I'm a master of communication. I read in between the lines. You understand? I understand nuance. This is what I do, public relations. You understand? Media. Me and many other Black Americans have dissected this, analyzed it, broke it down, and put other Black Americans on code and let them know what's going on. These people think you are not smart. You understand what I'm saying? Let me inform you about something. African American is not a term that all Black Americans used. In fact, African American was first put on the US Census year 2000. Now, when we're talking about justice claims such as reparations that's claimed through lineage, not through Blackness, we need to be very specific about language. I've been telling Black people, Black Americans, and you're going to have to do your own research, because I know people think it's a game when we're talking about pan-Africanism and pretendians and all this and that. The Racial Integrity Act of 1924 misclassified, reclassified Indigenous Americans from Indian to Negro, colored, mulatto, Black, and even present day African American, right? The term Negro, colored, and mulatto was not synonymous with meaning African descent. So the US government knows this is the big scandal that I want y'all to pay attention to. They know that a lot of Black Americans did not do their genealogy. So, was that an African slave or an indigenous slave? Because indigenous people were the first enslaved before Africans. See, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. And the Black presenting people who say that they are indigenous Africa, by saying that you're African American in reparations, they're fucking up your shit too, because you need to anchor reparations in being enslaved, period. Because just what I said. People think this is all fun and games with this pretendian and pan-African shit. Indigenous people were the first enslaved, and they labeled them Negro, colored, mulatto, Black, and they even changed into African American in many cases. So was that an African slave or an indigenous slave? And the government doesn't want to give reparations because they know you don't know the difference. And then Africa is very meddlesome, and they send their sleeper cells over here like ground zero, thinking they can inform us about our own history and lineage. This is what I've been trying to tell you people. Language is very important, the semantics of it all. The Caribbean had their own reparations movement called CARICOM, which does not include Black Americans. So all this kerfuffle that Ground Zero is writing, and all this kerfuffle that the African Union just did, proves Black Americans right. You are looking for a money grab to build up Africa. I would never unite with Africa. Africans sold Africans into slavery. Thus, they never viewed each other the same based upon how they look. So when other so-called Black people, and I'm not saying that all Black people descend from them, when Black presenting people say, I am not African, people who are pan-African think you're being divisive, like you're breaking a moral code that never existed. Africans are fighting each other today. Ghanaians are kicking Nigerians out. Haitians were turned away from Jamaica. Haitians were turned away from the African Union. They're fighting in Africa present day, and they always want to redirect their issue to Black Americans. The least amount of African slaves came to what is now known as the United States of America. About 4%. The majority went to the Caribbean and Brazil. So why are they always trying to speak for Black Americans? Oh, it's funny that you're talking about they're trying to fight on the behalf of Black Americans, and Black Americans knew nothing about this. Are you out of your mind? Are you okay? You wrote all that dashiki babble on my channel for what? A lot of Black Americans may not know this, but there have been individual Black American families who sued and got reparations. So when people say reparations can't happen, it already has. Many other groups have been rewarded reparations. I want y'all to look up October 1st, 2015. Barack Obama administration awarded a group of people reparations, and they rhyme with pews, right? They rhyme with pews. And the atrocities that happened to them didn't even happen in the United States of America. Many groups of people present day receive reparations in the United States of America by lineage. Look that up. So when people say that reparations can't happen, I mean, why can't it when it is already going on? You can't look at other groups of people and say that their atrocities are far worse than Black Americans. The reason, listen up, it's so hard trying to wake people up. They just think everything is a game, everything is a lie. They know that you guys didn't do genealogy. They know that you see Negro and colored and Black on the census, and you automatically think that means African. But the Black presenting people on here who say that they are indigenous been telling you that that was not synonymous with being African. The Racial Integrity Act of 1924. So if you don't ever get the language right, if you anchor the argument for reparations in Africa, you better have your African genealogy done. You better be able to trace that ancestor all the way back to Africa, because the government knows that just because it says Negro doesn't mean African. I'm telling you this. Why don't people ever look this up instead of talking about pan-Africanism and pretendians? This is why people will never get shit right, because they don't want to research what you're saying. And then an African sleeper cell is going to come on my page. This is why I don't allow them to talk on my page, because it's so insidious that people on the continent of Africa and these fucking pan-Africans think they know more than you. Why is an African in Black American business? Do you really think you're smarter than Black Americans? Why did you write all this on my page? Who sent you over here to get people in line? Do you think people can't read? Do you think people can't write? I will never unify with Africa. Black Americans already told you they are not African, and they do not care to build Africa. What the Caribbean has going on with their reparations justice claim has nothing to do with Black Americans. We are not incorporated into CARICOM, the reparations movement for the Caribbean. How is Africa fighting on the behalf of Black Americans and Black Americans are unaware? When did you get the memo, Black Americans? You see what I'm saying? Be for real. Get off of my channel. This is why my channel is going to go in a different direction, because playtime is over.
So I just got the tea that Africans are trying to tap into our $1 trillion spending power in our reparations. Thanks to this content creator, she just taught me about the African Union and what their plans are. What is the AU 6 region? The African Union AU recognizes 5 geographic regions of Africa: North, South, East, West, and Central. The sixth region was created to include the global African diaspora, meaning you and I, as so called Black Americans, whether we agree or not. This designation has no voting rights, no land, no actual citizenship benefits, but it allowed African leaders to claim us as an economic and political asset on the global stage. What are they doing right now? Creating pan-African councils to speak on behalf of Black Americans, claiming us under the AU 6 region to get access to grants, global funding, and future reparations, pushing global campaigns for African unity, but not including our demands, history, or sovereignty, meeting with U.S. leaders to form economic pipelines straight from our communities to African businesses and political elites. So, why are they talking about reparations? Because if Black Americans win reparations, African institutions want to sit at the table as representatives of the African diaspora, claim partnership statuses in any international reparation funds, direct some of the resources to Africa instead of keeping it in U.S. communities. What do they want to do with the money? Attract investments into African economies, not Black American communities. They want us as Black Americans to buy land in Africa, invest in African tech startups, agriculture, tourism, and real estate, and fund African government projects and infrastructure. And we don't get anything out the deal. Nothing. We have to separate ourselves from the Africans. We have to stop calling ourselves African American and Black. And we got to stop spending our money in their businesses. Amaru Book Club has started a petition. This petition is to get Black and African American removed from the census and to get our own correct classification on the census. We need in between 10 and 50K signatures. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Please copy and paste the link, sign the petition, and share the petition out to family and friends.
These Africans think we something to play with, but we about to show them real quick. First line of business, the African Union. They have decided to seek reparations on our behalf, calling us the sixth region. We are not the sixth region. We did not appoint you to speak for us. When you sold us for whatever products, goods that you received, the transaction was complete then and there. We do not belong to Africa. We are trying to get the cease and desist completed. If you can look in my bio, go ahead, add your support there so that we can go ahead and make sure this gets in front of U.S. lawmakers and they can stop coming to meetings with our lawmakers and trying to get our reparations. They are not going to Africa. We are completely stopping that 10% of the GDP here for Black Americans going to Africa. We're not doing it. We're not supporting you in any goddamn way. And the next line of business, you guys, we're going to go ahead and seek for a travel ban against these Africans. And we're also going to seek to remove the protections of Black Americans from the African people because they didn't offer us their protections when we were going through what we were going through. So I don't know why they want us to be blind, but guess what? Our ancestors died for this, and we're not about to play with y'all. And y'all not about to come over here and play in our face and try to cosplay, oh, we're all Black because of the skin color. Don't play with us. If it's anybody on this world that know how to fight, it's us.
So everybody always trying to blame white people for slavery. What about the Africans who sold us to the Americans and to the British and the Europeans? What about the Africans? Do you want to go to Africa? Hell no, I don't want to go no goddamn Africa. Africans don't like Black people. We ain't Black and we ain't African. I know we're not African. Well, how many of these African countries came back over here trying to save us? If anybody owes us reparations, it's those African countries who sold us, because the white boy didn't force us to come over here. They bought us. We were purchased. If that's really true, we were purchased. So no, I don't want to go back to Africa because Africa owes us reparations.
Hey, Black Americans, how y'all doing? So I decided to come on here because as we go through this battle with the Africans, with letting them know where they stand, I just want to let y'all know we not letting up. We're gonna put that hot shit on their ass because they think we something to play with. But we gonna show them our history. We're gonna show them. I decided to put the little video here of Blacks in the early 1900s where we were establishing our all Black towns and building everything from the ground up, fully functioning cities. And I also want to touch on something. I noticed they're coming with xenophobia. If you Africans decided to stay around because you bitches are nosy, I want to let you know we don't give a fuck about xenophobia. It does not exist in our world. It does not exist in our vocabulary. You do not have any grounds to stand on. This is not your land. You cannot come in someone's house, disrespect them, and feel like you're better than them and think you're going to get respect back from us. We are done with y'all. Absolutely done. And while you all feel like you are so much smarter than Black Americans, I want to introduce you to Louis Latimer. He actually cultivated and helped to develop the electricity current and how to utilize it. And that's why we don't really have those outages that you super smart people have in your villages and in your countries right now. But I also want to let you know that Louis was born in 1848 to George and Rebecca Latimer, former slaves. Black Americans are so lazy. They don't know how to do anything. Listen, y'all gonna stop playing with us. Y'all gonna stop playing with us. But I guess that's gonna come once we finally show you how America truly feels about you Africans, once they see that we are not going to stand behind you or protect you, and you won't have any footing in this country, and we're gonna let them turn y'all every which way but loose.
Baby, whether you feel like your ancestors came over here through the Atlantic slave trade or they migrated here on their own accord, let me tell you, it is time for us to tap into our business. Africans is working with American leadership to tap into the black reparations. Yeah, the money that belongs to us, everything that belongs to us, they are saying how they were affected 400 plus years later. And now you're saying that you're the fuck affected by the Atlantic slave trade because you came over here, you got your ass whipped, you got beat, you got mentally destroyed, emotionally destroyed, you got all of that. So now you think that you're owed something, bitch. You're owed nothing. But what you do owe is an apology to Black Americans. See, I ignored the Essence Festival thing, not my monkey, not my circus. But now that I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, that's what they're doing. They're trying to destiny swap. They're coming over here. They're taking off their attire. They're adapting to our attire. They're using our slang. They're eating our food. We have no culture, they say, but yet when they come here, they are no longer looking like an African on American soil. They're very much looking like an American, but yet we have no culture. So what are you doing? What are you eating? What are you wearing? What are you listening to? What the fuck are you engaging in? If we have no culture, you're engaging in Black culture because you're damn sure not engaging in white culture. You're damn sure not doing that. So you think that something is owed to you, baby? The way that we need to throw the fuck hands, and and the only reason I say throw the fuck hands because how dare you? How dare you? Nah, throw the fuck hands. Like I really feel like it needs to be some hands thrown, and I really feel like we need to handle them and not and let them know, take your ass back the fuck home. It ain't shit over here belong to you.
Africa. Gonna fight? Y'all gonna fight? What the fuck is this talking about? Y'all want our reparations too if we get them. How the fuck you feel like you entitled to our reparations? Bitch. Come on now, Africa, y'all come on. Everybody from over there, man, let's fight. I don't want to fucking fight. We gotta get this shit off our chest. You should have never fucking sold us in the first fucking place. So we want to fight. We want to fight, all us, everybody. Everybody from America want to fight. Fuck it. Get it off your chest. Fuck it.
The African Union, right, has this thing 2025 year of reparations. I'm gonna click on it. Now, mind you, keep in mind, we counted about 70, 80 billion the other night. 2025 year reparations. Let's read this. This is Africa. AU theme of the year 2025, theme justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations. The African Union has designated 2025 as a year of justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations. This initiative underscores the AU's commitment to addressing historic injustices, including the transatlantic slave trade, colonialism, apartheid, and genocide. It builds on decades of advocacy, collaboration, aiming to foster unity and establish mechanisms of reparatory justice on a global scale. And I'm like, wow, what? They didn't go what? Wait a minute, because how? What you didn't? That's not you. That's not your story, right? Y'all said that was the Negroes in America who was on the boats, right? But then guys, then I just kept meddling through this website. I saw so much, including the fact that Africa, unbeknownst to us, please share this live, guys. And look what comes up. Africa made us their sixth region. Did you know that? Africa made the Negroes in America, the darkies, the Black people, the Black Americans, their sixth region. They made us a state within their diaspora. So they have a state outside of Africa, and it includes us. Who the fuck told them to do that? I have no clue. Why I'm just not finding this out? I don't know why all these African diaspora channels ain't never pointed this out. I have no clue. Please click like in here. Please share the video because this is wild. They were able to bring us inside of their group. Because mind you, this African Union has been around since 1963. And they have never been able to get this amount of money in this period of time, right? And their whole thing was African Union. Let's go back. They're trying to change how the world sees them, right? And so then some smart nigga over in Africa said, this is how we can change it. Let's bring the Black Americans in and make them our sixth region. I was looking for let me go to their, which page is this about? Is who we are. African states. If they have 55 states, then we're the 56. There's something crazy like that. No, I'm looking for the part. It's a part on here where they're explaining how they don't want the world to view them as people who are not capable of doing business, people who are not capable of trade, people who don't have enough money going into their bank accounts. They explain all of this on their site, right? And then you go into the part of the site where they made us the sixth region. One people, one voice, one Africa, diaspora of African descent in America, people of African descent in America. And this is how they have, look at this. Our mission is to galvanize, mobilize, structure, and empower the people of African descent in America, as well as reconnecting them to the motherland. One voice, one people, one Africa. The African Union has invited the African diaspora to bring voting members of the AU to that together African people who can move together towards the unification of the African continent into a reality called the Union of African States, or United States of Africa, in the near future. But this is supposed to be us, right? They took our whole identity, is what I'm telling y'all. They took our whole identity, using it for their benefit. Look at this shit, man. Look at this. Look at this. Who told them to do this? Who gave them permission to do this? Who the fuck gave them permission to do this? What? Yeah, this is wild. This is crazy. This is so crazy, bro. I swear. This shit, I said, let me go. I wasn't even gonna go live today. I said, let me get somebody else eyes on this. This was not on my bingo card. This was not on my bingo card. These fucking orange-eyed put us in it. Use us for marketing and then start brokering deals all over the place. We don't even know we involved in this shit at all. We don't even know. Like, we're involved in their whole role. Like, this website, how they're explaining how they want to be the leaders in culture and all of that. And then they're sitting here. Let me show y'all.
Y'all right here. I want y'all to see who is in charge of foundational Black American reparations at the African Union. You probably never heard of her before, have you? Me neither. No, at all. Have never seen this individual. But this is the individual that has been granted the powers as the sixth region of the African Union to oversee our money. You damn right. Family, look at this right here. Okay, H.E. Dr. Queen Blessing Atua, chair of the African Union 6th region in the USA. Did any of y'all sign up for her to be a representative? We already have people who always seem to be our fake representatives who are American. This woman is a Nigerian. This is a Nigerian woman who's been running around here as your representative, fam. And I'm not talking about your district. I'm not talking about your town. I'm not talking about your committee. I'm saying she's representing all of us. So to make it clear and plain in my proletarian workers language, fam, this woman is running around here being the boss and the chairwoman of reparations in a country in which she did not even have any parts of. As a matter of fact, Nigeria wasn't even a country. The main person who put all this together was exactly that right there, Barack Obama. Yes, Barack Obama was the individual that gave this lady a Lifetime Achievement Award. And then you got to ask yourself, a Lifetime Achievement Award for what? This woman ended up getting a Lifetime Achievement Award so she could be the main one that they put in position to steal our reparations. And about the same exact time that all of this was starting to occur, family, was the same exact time that reparations movement, the reparations generation started to take off. Yep. So around the same time that we started really getting it popping in these streets when it came to reparations is the same exact time this woman gets this award from Barack Obama, because two tethers of a feather gonna flock together. I want you to think about every tether family, and then I want you to think about how they're all in one giant cahoots to work with one another. I'm talking about the damn Uber driver all the way down to Kamala Harris or Barack Obama. She was put in a position, and I'm going to show you, fam. I'm talking about she has positions with the UN. She has positions with the African Union. And do you guys know that she authored, check this out. It blew my mind when I seen it, fam. I told y'all, #1 activist. I'm going to take this to a whole nother maximum. Do you guys know that she authored a law in the state of Georgia to help immigrants? Yes, African immigrants. Now, I want you to rewind time to a year ago. A year ago, when we were out here highlighting all of these Africans that were being dropped off in Atlanta. And did you guys all see the poll that just came out? It really wasn't a poll. It was some statistics that say Atlanta is no longer the Black Mecca. And they talk about how so many migrants are there. A lot of those migrants are Africans and Haitians and Jamaicans. Well, guess what, y'all? This woman authored the bill that ended up getting pushed through all by Democrats to allow these people to come in. I got receipts on you, Miss Tua. Matter of fact, there go the goddamn bill right there. Oh, don't think I ain't got the receipts, family. I got them for days. Yeah, and they're going to be in the maze. Check this out. You want to see another thing they've been doing? How about this? Guess what term she goes under? Mrs. H.E. Dr. Queen Blessings Atua is an Isan Indo-State born Nigerian African American queen. Damn. Did they throw in the term African American, y'all? She earned her biochemistry degree from the University of Benin, whatever the Nigeria. I be damned. These are people that we didn't even know about 2 months ago, 3 months ago. A lot of people just finding out as I speak who this individual is. But this individual knows who you are. This individual knows about your money. This individual knows about them reparations that is belonging to your family. I bet you that goddamn much. So it's always that case, ain't it, family? Isn't it always? These people know some things about us, and they don't want us to know about them. Yeah, I want y'all to notice how they highlighted African American. This woman is a Nigerian, straight up Nigerian, all the way across both. She got the Nigerian forehead. You know she's a Nigerian. But yet she's being pushed off as a reparations international advocate, a multi-continental advocate of reparations. Not an advocate, excuse me, rewind, Black Alpha, take it back. No. She's a chairwoman of international reparations. She's a chairwoman of multi-continental reparations, and she's also a Nigerian-born African-American. You can't make it up, y'all. You can't make it up. But what we can do, we can put receipts on the table. Family, check this out. Let's go there about the African Union. I'm going to bring all that back. I'm going to throw in Barack Obama. We're going to bring up Kamala Harris. All of these faces.
The colonial history, the legacy of enslavement, racial subordination and segregation, racial terrorism, and racial inequality in the US remains a serious challenge, as there has been no real commitment to reparation and to truth and reconciliation for people of African descent. Despite substantial changes since the end of the enforcement of Jim Crow and the fight for civil rights, ideology ensuring the domination of one group over another continues to negatively impact the civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights of African Americans today. The dangerous ideology of white supremacy inhibits social cohesion among the US population. Lynching was a form of racial terrorism that has contributed to a legacy of racial inequality that the US must address. Thousands of people of African descent were killed in violent public acts of racial control and domination, and the perpetrators were never held accountable. Contemporary police killings and the trauma it creates are reminiscent of the racial terror lynching of the past. Impunity for state violence has resulted in the current human rights crisis and must be addressed as a matter of urgency. Racial bias and disparities in the criminal justice system, mass incarceration, and the thought on crimes policy has disproportionately impacted African Americans. Mandatory minimum sentencing, disproportionate punishment of African Americans, including the death penalty, are of grave concern. The persistent gap in almost all the human development indicators, such as life expectancy, income and wealth, level of education, and even food security among African Americans and the rest of the US population reflect the level of structural discrimination that create de facto barrier for people of African descent to fully exercise their human rights. There is a profound need to acknowledge that the transatlantic slave trade was a crime against humanity, and among the major sources and manifestations of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance, and that Africans and people of African descent were victims of this act, continue to be victims of their consequences. Past injustice and crimes against African Americans need to be addressed with reparatory justice. The working group urges Congress to expedite the passing of all pending criminal justice reform bills, including the End Racial Profiling Act, the Second Chance Reauthorization Act, and welcomes the bipartisan support for the Sentencing Reform and Correction Act, with, among other things, proposed to drastically reduce the use of mandatory minimum sentencing. The working group recommends to the government to allow independent monitoring of places of detention in the United States.
Okay, y'all. So that was the UN, and that was actually a speech they gave at the very end of 2024. And they do those speeches on they think we should get reparations, and they do it every so many years, but it don't mean anything. It's not like the US is going to follow what they say. So I want to go back to the website, the link that I had put in the chat. All right, here, let me see if I can put it back in. Yeah. All right, I'm putting it back in the chat again. Okay. So if you go to the website, y'all, because they're talking about doing a petition um and doing a cease and desist. Well, I think it should go a step further. If you scroll down where it says for further information, please contact, there's like 1, 2, 3 email addresses. Why not bombard their email with how we feel about this whole thing and how we never approached anyone in Africa to speak on our behalf for reparations? We never did this, and we didn't ask for their help, and we don't want their help. And we don't need someone, because their intentions is to take our reparations to the point where we end up with nothing. Talking about the fix up Africa. Who said I want to fix up Africa? No, you fix that place up your own damn self. Don't y'all have over 1 billion people in Africa? So what's your problem? Why can't y'all, all billion of you, come together and fix up Africa? You know what it is, y'all? They found out that we have $1.9 trillion in spending power. Once they found that out, they're now trying to figure out how to get a piece of that money. And they're not entitled to none of it. We ain't doing nothing over in no Africa. Okay? And it's really pathetic. And this is why I'm saying this. All this time, we have been going through hell in this country. Nobody in Africa extended an olive branch and said, look, you came from this country or you came out of this region. We want you to come back. You can have dual citizenship. Nothing. When we were getting killed unarmed by police, what did the AU do? They didn't do shit. When our people were going through the civil rights movement, what did the AU do? When our people went through the crack epidemic, where was the AU? Y'all want to take our money, but you have zero history of helping us. Okay, they haven't helped us with anything. When mass incarceration started it and Biden did that crime bill, where was the AU? It's amazing how you have zero history of being there for us, but you got your hand out for our money, our reparations. You want to chime in on the money that we spend on a yearly basis because you know it's in the trillions of dollars. You want a piece of that. For what? You haven't earned it. If anything, y'all should be cutting checks and sending those checks over here to us. That's the only thing y'all need to be doing. So going back to the website, let me put this up on the screen. Okay, so I'm on the actual website. That's the link I put in the chat. So all you got to do is scroll down towards the bottom and you'll see 3 emails, and they got a WhatsApp phone number here as well. And if you look here, apparently they have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube channel. So, I mean, we can even go to their channels and start writing, in the comment section. So there's a lot more we can do other than sign a petition. We can do a lot. We can bombard them on Facebook and, anywhere where we can contact them by email, whatever we need to do. But they need to know how we feel about this whole thing. I don't want to be no 6th regent and you doing all this mess without our knowledge, you and the Democratic Party. And no, I'm not cooperating. I'm not going to cooperate with whatever they got going. And no, why the hell would we want to build America and then turn around and build Africa? Does this make any sense? I don't live in Africa. I don't know why I got to build anything over there. I don't live there. I don't work there. I'm not benefiting from Africa at all. So why would they take our money, but then allow us to buy land over there? Why would we need to buy land and we got reparations? And then on top of that, you're telling the African Americans can come and help you build Africa. Fuck all of that. I ain't helping you build nothing over there. What you need to do is get out of this entire thing, because our reparations don't have a damn thing to do with a single person from Africa. And no, you don't get to crowbar your way in and try to tap in to our 1.9 trillion spending power. Talking about they want 10% of it. No, you don't deserve 0%. We don't live in Africa. No, I don't even want you to have 10% of our spending power. No, you don't deserve that either. You sold us and you want to be awarded? The hell out of here. No, we do not have to take care of Hamites. We do not have to take care of a Hamite. So y'all, I just wanted to give you these updates because I finally got the website and I got the petition, and I already signed the petition already before I came on. I signed the petition. So no, we ain't got to take care of no damn Hamites over there. They don't do nothing to take care of us. When we're hurting, they're nowhere in sight. They're nowhere in sight. But they sit around here in America whenever we're having conversations about reparations. They want to chime in like they got some opinion that we want to hear. Our reparations have nothing to do with an African. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing. And I don't give a damn about you getting on a video talking about we don't deserve reparations. You don't have no say in the matter. You don't have no say in the matter. So, y'all, there's a lot of other things we can do besides a petition. I mean, a petition is good, but we need to go way beyond a petition. I mean, drown these people in emails and wherever they are online, drown their comment section. That's what I think. That's something we can do right now. Okay. With a petition, you got to wait until you accumulate so many signatures. Why wait? Why wait? That's where I stand on the whole thing. No, and I mean, look at the irony. They want to benefit off of us. But their suggestion to us is buy land in Africa and build up, help them build up Africa. It is not our problem that for the last 400 years, y'all didn't do shit over in Africa. That's not our problem. Because I seen some of the lands out there. Y'all ain't touched them lands and haven't improved. Look at Burkina Faso. Dirt roads. Them homes look makeshifts. They've got a bunch of makeshift looking. That right there tells me y'all haven't done nothing to that land for centuries. And then you look at places in South Africa, dirt roads, shanty towns. That tells me right there, for centuries, y'all sat over there and didn't do nothing to improve those places. But you supposed to take our money and we're supposed to go over there like some damn slaves and help you build up a country? No, I ain't doing it. No, I ain't doing nothing over there. I don't have nothing invested over there. I live here. And I'm not going to go over there and help them build up shit. They didn't help us build anything. What have they helped us build in the last 400 years? What did they come over here and help us build? Not a damn thing. I don't care what dirt road. You keep them dirt roads over there. Have them for another 400 years as far as I'm concerned. But you ain't going to make off with our reparations money. And then we got to go over there and help you build up Africa. Y'all can go to hell. No. And keep the delineation going, y'all. Keep it going. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Monica Gregory, once again, thank you for the super sticker. And Brooklyn 71881, thank you for the super chat. Miss Lisa, we have to gatekeep everything we do, and I will be signing the petition. Great, wonderful. I already signed it before I came on to the live stream. And y'all, just keep your head on the swivel, because we're talking the way that we are. They're going to start trying to come in, our chats and comment sections. If you see them, bounce their asses the hell up on out of here. If you are a moderator, you do have the ability to block them and also get them out of the comment section of my videos. So y'all have a wonderful night, and be on the lookout for my videos and live streams tomorrow. Good night and shalom, family.